Hi, so today we're going to talk a little bit about something called false friends. False friends are basically when a word in your language looks a little bit like the same word in English, so you think they must have the same meaning. But quite often we find that the meaning is completely unrelated. The problem really comes about when you use the local word instead of the English word and you really confuse the meaning. So we're going to look at 5 common false friends when you go from Polish to English. So the first one that we're going to look at in Polish is AKTUALNIE. Now this word looks like actually, but it doesn't translate that way. It translates as currently. I think this is also the case when you go from German to English with the word aktuell, which can mean news, for example. If my German's correct, I'm not sure. So what does actually mean? Well, actually is often used to show a contradiction. For example, everyone thinks that because I'm a bit overweight I must love chocolate, but actually I don't like chocolate that much. I prefer pizza. So when you want to use the word in the Polish sense, the one we want is current or currently. So currently I am doing this. The next one is one of the most common problems going from Polish to English, and this is the Polish word KOLEGA. Now it looks like colleague, and sometimes it works that way. You can translate it as colleague if the context is absolutely right. If you're talking about somebody that you work with, so in a business or a company, you work with somebody, that person is your colleague. But the way I hear it from my students is to mean friend. Friend and colleague are not the same. And if I hear my students, who are often 15, 16, 17 years old, talking about their colleagues at school, I correct it to classmates. We have a lot of different words that end in mate in English. So the people you work with can be your workmate. The people in your class can be your classmate. In your school can be your schoolmate. And colloquially, you can just refer to a friend as a mate. The third false friend that we're going to look at today is actually quite a funny one. And I only learnt about this when my wife said something to my mother. Now you see, we were looking to buy some furniture. We had some space in the apartment and we needed to find something to put all of the baby clothes in many years ago when my daughter was young. So of course we wanted to buy a chest of drawers. If you go back far enough in English history, you'll find that the word commode might have meant a chest of drawers. But now, KOMODA in Polish doesn't translate the right way to the English commode. As you can see from this picture, the word commode is most often used to describe a kind of portable toilet, like a toilet on wheels pretty much. So yes, that was quite interesting. When my wife told my mother that we were looking to buy a commode, my mum got quite worried, thinking that one of us had some sort of a problem, that we would need something like that. The fourth false friend on my list is a word that comes up quite often in my lessons. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's because of me and my teaching style or if it's the lifestyle of the people I teach. But the Polish word NERWOWY doesn't quite translate to nervous. For example, you're trying to get to school and there's a traffic jam, you're sitting in your car waiting. You don't say that you're getting nervous because of that. You start to get frustrated, angry, or stressed. You get nervous or anxious before a test or when you go to see the dentist, for example. So there is quite a big difference really between nerwowy in its common use and nervous in English. And then finally, number 5 on this short list of false friends going from Polish to English, we have the word in Polish sympatyczny. Now on the face of it, it looks very similar to sympathetic in English, but sympathetic is a different word in Polish. Sympatyczny translates best to friendly or nice. Somebody could be a very friendly person, but it doesn't mean that they'll be sympathetic. I like to think of myself as a friendly teacher, and I try to be sympathetic, but I'm not always successful. So, there we have 5 false friends going from Polish to English. There are many more. There's a really good resource on Wikipedia, and I've put the link to it in the description below so you can take a look. And it lists a lot of the common false friends between Polish and English, but it's not exhaustive. Perhaps you know of some others. If you can think of any false friends for Polish students going into English, add them in the comments below and tell us about the mistake, what sort of problem it is for people to use. Are you interested in learning about false friends in other languages? I could make a video about something else, although I'd have to learn a little bit about the language. I do know one in Spanish. I think it's true, that the English word embarrassed doesn't quite translate to embarazado, which I think, or embarazada probably, because it'd be feminine, I think that means pregnant. So that'd be quite an embarrassing mistake to make. So what other languages would you like to see videos about, showing the difference between false friend in one language and the correct translation in another? Leave a comment below. Until next time, thank you. Goodbye.